Look down and like, wait a second, was it luck? Was it not? No, they're here to show it off and show why they're at the World Cup Finals. But now, hopping back with Miz and Daedra, we saw them have a great game one, came out top 10, and they're still in the running. They're in about the top 10 right now as well, based off of elimination. Not necessarily picking up too many placement points. They're heavily dependent on just piping up these players at these points of interest. And Lucky Land, this is theirs right now.
They'll have that, but let's see.
¿Por qué ni lo va a decir? Concha su madre.
I love the fact that to this hotspot here, there is going to be a bunch of free items that you're going to be able to pick up on. Also, you can have that circle advantage. It's right there. So you don't got to worry too much. You can continue to focus on looting. High ground has been lost, though. Miz needs to be careful. Where's Daedra at? He's going to be right next to him, trying to get these angles.
So what they have to do, they have to stick together,
Looking
looking for the sound cues right here. Can they find their opponent, catch a nice little low ground peek right here? Low ground is definitely underrated. If you can just kind of peek out, catch a big shot, you're almost guaranteed a headshot, which is a big multiplier.
Yeah, players don't really think about that, right? Like you always see Fortnite players go after the high ground. That's the bread and butter for a lot of players that play this game. But you know better than most that the low ground can pay dividends for you if you know how to take advantage of that position. Maybe some overzealous players to try and get aggressive on you. You got Gustavo along with Wishy.
I'm actually very interested to see if Gustavo's going to lead this push here, because specifically between these two players right here, this duo, this Brazilian duo, Gustavo doesn't necessarily lead the pushes. It's Wishy. Wishy's the aggressive one here. So he has the ultimate high. He's always looking for the shot. What they're gonna do is it's just a nice standoff.
Yeah, and that's this whole event, right? Players have just been very cautious about what they want to do. They are not trying to get too aggressive in these fights. They know what's on the line here. Millions in prizing is on the line. You do not want to make a bad decision. Be one of those teams that are eliminated out early on. But Gustavo's going to be putting shots down. Focusing this player, forcing him to actually build up. He has no builds to work with as well. 19 HP remaining, and just a hope and a prayer, but unfortunately for him, that was not going to be enough there. Gustavo's out. Wishy isn't going to happen for him either. And Miz, he's feeling it. That's going to be 2 elims for this duo.
You gotta love the snarky little smirk right there on his face when you get those 2 points.
Smirky.
Feels so good.
It's really good. It feels really good. And then Volks, Parpy actually dealing with this battle. And actually got the high ground against him, was focus firing on Volks. Parpy pushing back here. I wonder, you get split up like this, but Volks and Parpy, they love playing a very aggressive style. They'll get in your face. They'll box you out if they need to.
Yeah, without a doubt, this duo was unmatched when it came down to eliminations in the qualifying rounds. They had the most, actually, and even pulled off a consecutive 5 victories in 8 games to qualify for one of the weekends. Volks and Parpy, another kind of reference to game 1. They had a great game 1. We saw them picking up duos, but we haven't seen them necessarily make it through the end game. All they have to do is kind of slow it down here, and that's what they're trying to do, but being split up is terrible.
Also, in the distance, I just want to make note, Wolfie's a very aggro controller player. He's another one. I think that we've seen a fun mixture of players that look to get that safe approach to the game, and then others that just want to take early fights, get some points early on, because maybe they're playing that early game strategy rather than like focusing so hard. Like if you get late game, that's great, but you do want to rack up a few eliminations. Look how low the points are that have been thus far in games 1 and 2. Get yourself a few elims, and then maybe